can't sleep. What's up guys, Nsima the Centaur Inyang here. So in this video, you could tell by the title, I don't know what I've titled it yet, but I can't sleep, so I felt like making a video about measurements. And measurements seems to be something that actually a lot of people neglect in taking or neglect in tracking, just because maybe it's a little bit tedious, maybe it's they don't know what to measure. So in this video I'm going to be going over if you're cutting or if you're bulking, different things to take into account when you're taking measurements, how to take measurements, like I just said, where to take them, and why they're so important. So real quick, one thing I think is very important in terms of measurements is when you're cutting or you're bulking. Let's say when you're cutting and you hit a stall, a lot of people tend to just want to make macro changes. So like once they stall in weight, they want to decrease the carbs by 100 or add in 500 more calories of cardio. But if you're taking measurements, you'll probably notice week by week that week that you've stalled, you've probably still lost in a certain area of your body. And this is why I urge a lot of my clients, and if you're one of my clients watching this, if you're not taking measurements consistently, please pay attention to what I'm about to show you. For a lot of my clients, I have them take measurements because, as you notice in some of the individuals that I show you, in some of these examples, they have stalled, and even on the weeks they stalled, no macronutrient changes were made, but their measurements continued going down in certain areas of their body, which gave me an idea that, okay, we don't need to change our macros just yet. Let's ride this out, see what kind of changes we see, and boom, maybe the next week they hit a new low. So I'll be explaining everything in this video, and yeah, let's get right into it. One more thing, at the end of this video I'm going to take my own measurements so you guys can see what I'm measuring in at, and I'm also actually going to start my own tracker and share it with you guys, because honestly I kind of want you guys to keep me accountable towards my own goals, and I'm going to be pretty much inputting my weight every day in the tracker, and I'm doing this also so my clients can see me doing it, but I'm going to be inputting my weight into the tracker every single day. I'm going to be inputting my measurements in every single week. You guys will see what macros I have. You guys will see how I change my macros over time based on my expenditure and how I track everything. So that sheet will be shared in case you guys ever want to check in on me and make sure I'm actually doing what I say. Okay, now let's get into it. So right here we have Julian's tracker. Now in terms of body parts, we track measurements: the chest, right arm, left arm, 2 inches above the belly button, 2 inches below the belly, hips, right thigh, left thigh. I also track sleep quality, stress levels, and then I rate the individual's adherence. We also track average weekly weigh-ins. I advise everyone to use the tracker every single day. So we have weigh-ins every day, the macros they hit every day, and then in the actual tracker they can let me know like how they felt in terms of food, if they're feeling super hungry, stuff like that. Now back to the measurements. You notice on week 1, Julian was 239.8, chest was at 116. You can see all these measurements right here. Now the good thing about this, and like I said, every client that's watching this currently, take note of Julian. He measures every week, and we're able to see by the end of the 10 weeks, he went from 239.8 to 232.6. And we also have this little table right here. His chest had a very slight decrease, but in his program, he actually gained strength in all of his lifts. Right arm and left arm gained size. But the good thing here is that the belly, 2 inches below the belly, 2 inches above the belly. Hips, slight decrease in the right thigh, but all the places that ideally we wanted to lose body fat are places that we lost body fat. So, for example, let's look at week 3 and week 4. Week 3 he was around 237.8. Week 4 around the same weight, but what do you notice at this weight? His, 2 inches above the belly went from 89.3 centimeters to 87.3 centimeters, and all the other measurements, belly went from 89.4 to 88. 2 inches below went from 89 to 87.7. Yes, there can be a slight inconsistency in measurement, but overall you can see why. If you do take measurements and you're cutting, if you stall, you can still see change in measurements, and you can still understand that the scale doesn't have to go down all the time. Okay, this is just another tool for you to use to just make sure that you're moving in the right direction on a cut or even on a bulk. Now I'm going to use Simon weighing as an example. So we actually had Simon on a bulk all the way up until I believe, we were bulking until about the end of November, and then we started cutting. So I think we peaked at around 92 kilos. I think that's like 20 something, 205 or 206. Not great with my kilo to pound conversion. And currently we're all the way down to 83 kilos. But again, the key thing here is the measurements. When we were around 91 kilos, his chest was at 40. You can see all these measurements here. Arm at 16 and 16.1. Belly 2 inches above the navel, 33.9. Belly 34.5. 2 inches below, 35.9. And this was in inches. Hips 37, right thigh 26, left thigh 26. Now about 10 weeks into the cut, we're down to 86.5 in terms of kilos. But again, the good thing we've noticed is that the right arm, the left arm lost barely any size. And I mean, the percentage is going to be less because those are smaller places to measure. But 2 inches above the belly, 9% body fat loss. Or not body fat loss, but 9% measurement loss. Belly, close to 9%. 2 inches below the navel, 6.5%. Hips, 4.6%. We're losing where we want to lose. We're losing in all the right areas. And then his quads barely lost any size. And then Simon, like I just emailed you, gotta take more measurements. Right now, we're around 83.6 kilos. We don't have measurements for that yet, but he's gonna get them up soon. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now I'm gonna use my client Marcus as an example. Marcus, thank you for taking measurements. Now you're on video, so take it more consistently. And you are, so whatever, it's awesome. In December, we started off at 215. So you can see the 215 cell is highlighted. Right now, we're down to 204, but we're averaging around 203 in terms of our weigh-ins. But again, I don't always make changes to the macros just when you stall, because what happens, we see a lot of changes in terms of average measurements. So just so you can see his total change over that time, when we went from 215 to 203, I think we are 15 weeks in. But his chest, he has a predisposition to having he has a very strong bench press. And it actually was getting stronger. Like right now, I believe he has a stronger bench now than he did when he was 215, or maybe slightly stronger. And what happened? Chest gained 4% in terms of total size. But arms lost a little bit, 3% in terms of total arms from, and you'll see right here I say week 1 because this is actually the measurements from his very first week. Okay, so going back here, 2 inches above the belly, we lost 10% in terms of total measurement loss. Belly button, or right around the belly, lost about 6%. 2 inches below the belly, lost about 4%. Hips lost 6%, and we're getting deep into contest prep right now, so we're losing almost everywhere. But right thigh lost 4.5%, left thigh lost 2%. Now, this is a very interesting thing. He holds just a lot of different major different body fat, or it could have been an error in terms of measurement, but you'll see that his right thigh is 26.25 inches, left thigh is 26.5 inches. And when he started, it was very close to the same difference. It was 27.5 inches for the right thigh, 27 inches for the left thigh. Now that was a lot of fluff information, but you can see that with all this information, if you're cutting, it's a very good idea not just to take, to weigh yourself and get, like right here, get your average weigh-ins each week. Like right here, he was 207.5, then he went down to 206.5, back up to 207.1, and then the next week, he was at 204.7. And in those weeks, there were no macro changes because we had measurements to base things off of. So it's a really, really good idea to make changes to your measurements over time. not to make changes to your measurements, to track your measurements so that you can have a better idea of how to make macronutrient changes as you're getting deeper and deeper into a cut. And I think it will be like, I'm gonna probably make a video about diet adjustments later on in the future. These kind of videos are a little bit intensive, but I think my goal mainly isn't just to make videos like this that are gonna help you guys, but also just videos of, just the daily life, because I think that's where I've been lacking. I like to put out information, but I think I'm gonna make simpler videos too. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my own measurements, show you guys how to take them. So it'll be kind of like a physique update. And then I'm going to share with you guys my own tracker that I'm gonna start using today, just so that you can see how I'm tracking myself and where I'm making my macronutrient changes and just how I'm doing everything. So, let's go. So guys, actually, I lied. It's like 5:40 now. I said I would take the measurements, and I still will, but I think I'm gonna do it later on today because for some reason I still can't sleep. This video is already pretty long. I have jujitsu and I'm lifting, so I'm gonna take the measurements before I go to jujitsu, and I'll put them as part of another video so that this video isn't too long and too congested. So I'm gonna actually end the video here, but I'm still gonna have the sheet for my own measurements and my progress down below. I'll be, updating it soon, and it will always be in the description box so you guys can track my progress. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This is Nsima the Centaur Inyang from Break the Bar. Be an anomaly. I'm going to be talking to you all very, very soon.